All right. What's up, team? Happy Thursday morning. We are here for Leadership Thursday. Dr. Jeff Moore, CEO of ICE, also serving for faculty in the lumbar and cervical spine divisions. Sorry we're hopping on a little bit late. Had some Facebook issues over on the computer, so we're sending this from the phone today. Hope everybody's doing awesome. It's Thursday, so as always, it's Gut Check Thursday. And if you haven't seen, we're going to fire this one up live. So a bunch of us are going to do Gut Check Thursday live at 1 p.m. my time. That's Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. What's up, Steve? Good morning. So we'll be live on Gut Check Thursday. It's going to be minute 1. We've got 1 sit-up and then 3 air squats. Minute 2, 2 sit-ups, 6 air squats. Minute 3, 3 sit-ups, 9 air squats. And we'll build adding a sit-up and adding 3 air squats until you can't make it anymore. So we'll all jump on Zoom live, 3 p.m. Eastern. Fire me a message. I'll send you the link, and we'll all hop on there and see who the last person is standing. Megan Daly and I were chatting this morning. She's going to be tough to beat. She's fit, and she's got size on her side for sit-ups and air squats. So I think it's going to be a massacre, but I'm going to have a good time with that. So as we all kind of wrap up our last weeks in quarantine, gyms are starting to open up across the country. Let's get a few more in together. So we'll see you live if you can be there. Upcoming courses, we've got Persistent Pain with Justin Dunaway. Our 8-week online course starts May 11th. We have MMOA, our older adult foundations course, starts on the 13th. And then Clinical Management of the Fitness Athlete Pregnancy and Postpartum Edition with Kelsey and Christina starts on May 18th. So we've got all of those online courses coming up here in a few weeks. Persistent Pain, older adult, and fitness athlete, pregnancy, and postpartum. So ptonice.com, as always, if you want to jump into one of those. All right, so it's Leadership Thursday, and this is a topic I've wanted to chat about for a while, but it's a hard one to frame, but it's really important if you can appreciate the subtle but critical difference, right? And I think before we get into this, we have to all acknowledge that seeking out leadership never goes away. It never goes away. I mean, if you're leading a progressively building and constructive existence, you're always looking for your next leader, right? Now, number one, because I sure hope that you never get fully to the top in whatever your clutch area or your main area of professional development is. But even if you do, there are always other areas in this modern economy, the way that we all function professionally. Everybody is engaged in a couple different things, right? And there's no way that in all of those areas you are absolutely in the pole position, right? So you're always looking for that next critical person to follow for your development, for advancement, for the cause. You're always looking for your next leader. Even if you are in the top position, if you will, in one of those areas of your life, you're still looking for your next leader inside of that team. So your ability to recognize quality leadership, I think, only gets more important the more influence that you have inside of your different organizations. Not less important. It's not like once you make it, you don't have to worry about that. I would argue once you make it, your ability to select and be able to vote on quality leadership, the importance of that only enhances. So it never goes away. You're going to be trying to recognize quality leadership for the rest of your professional and personal lives. So think about how to get better and better at that. And one of the key things is being able to differentiate this difference between passionate leadership and angry leadership, right? People who are passionate versus people who are angry. The challenge is they look really similar, right? On surface level, they look really similar. Right? Person's fired up, right? They're energetic. They're on a mission, right? They look really similar on face value, but there is a massive difference between leading from and thus living with a feeling of enthusiasm for a cause that you want to advance versus being angry at something you're trying to beat. There is a massive difference in not only the leadership capacity, but in having to live with the emotions of having a cause that you're passionate and trying to advance versus having an opponent that you're angry with and always trying to beat. There could not be a bigger difference between the quality of life and the quality of mission between those two things, right? And in large part, you are going to become who you follow. That's why we do it, right? The reason we follow leaders is we want to become more like them. So you are going to become more like the leadership that you choose to follow. And again, do you want to become passionate about a cause, or do you want to become increasingly angry at others, at opponents? The second one is no way to live. The first one is the way to live. And yet they look so similar that when you're trying to figure out which one is which and you're making these challenging decisions, it's not easy. So I just want to unpack a few characteristics that I think you can try to recognize as you're trying to pick what leadership to follow, as you're trying to pick the next leader in your organization. I'm pulling a little bit of this from Dare to Lead, from Brene Brown's philosophy of the armory. I loved how she framed that for those of you who have read the book, kind of going on the two different sides, right, of leadership types and comparing them. I think it's a good way to try to look at this discrepancy. So angry leaders, people who are angry versus passionate, struggle to learn from the other side. So if you watch them, they are so angry and so focused on trying to beat other people, they have a really hard time learning from other people. So if you watch their behavior over time, you're going to recognize they do not tend to take opportunities to learn from the other side. Passionate people are the exact opposite. They know that the most fertile ground for learning is going to be from people who are very different than they are, oftentimes on the other side. So they're going to be able to block out or disregard or not worry about, at least for the time being, certain differences they might have from somebody if learning from them will help to advance the cause. So they're willing to put themselves in those learning or pupil positions underneath somebody who does not believe what they do for the importance of learning from them. That is a very unique characteristic. Now, very similarly, and probably the most obvious one, if you're trying to find passion versus anger, right? Angry people do not tip their hat to people outside their circle, right? Because remember, for them, it's always about beating the other people. So they just don't have it in them to regularly tip their hat to people who are outside of their immediate circle. Passionate people take and find and seek out every opportunity to recognize any forward step, any big move in the right direction, regardless of who's making it. So from passionate people, you will often be caught off guard by them giving shout outs to folks who seem to be their competition, or who seem to be, for lack of a better term, right, the people they're trying to beat. Yet you'll see them say, hey, that was a great move, because to them it's more important that the step in the right direction is recognized than it is that the person they're trying to beat doesn't get a win. And if you watch somebody's behavior, and remember, don't believe words, believe behavior. If you watch someone's behavior for a few months, and what's cool is nowadays you have the ability to watch people you're thinking about following behave over time. You're gonna recognize right away that people who are leading from anger, which to me really isn't even leading, but people who are being pushed forward with anger as the primary vector, do not do well tipping their hat to people outside their circle, particularly those who are in relative competition with them. Okay, number 3, and this one is really more relevant once you're kind of getting into the inner circle and beginning to get closer to individuals. Angry people who are leading from anger, tend to paint a scary picture of what the future would look like if they didn't win. Right? It's a very pessimistic thing. Everything that's wrong about it, right? It's very much focusing on not letting the negatives win or evolve. Passionate people tend to paint a really beautiful picture about what the future could look like if the cause advances. It's very, very different when you're in those circles, right? Angry leadership really tries to scare you into submission or into motivation by saying, look at how awful it's going to be if we don't win. Passionate leadership helps you to see how beautiful it could be if the cause you're trying to advance succeeds. And those two things are not the same. And living with those two feelings is not the same. Finally, number 4, people who are leading from anger really struggle to grow their leadership teams. Now, that is not to say they struggle to grow their individual followings. Oftentimes, they're very good at that because anger, unfortunately, in our society, right, is very catchy, right? Anger absolutely draws attention. So oftentimes, the individual's individual following will grow, but they struggle to build strong leadership teams because it's about their fight, right? Whereas passionate people easily grow leadership teams because it's about the fight. It's about the cause, not their cause. It's about the cause. And people want to get on a leadership team that isn't about the one individual who has it out for something. They want to be on a team where the individual leading is helping them to continually see the importance of the greater mission. And that's a really big difference. Those 4 things, if you're evaluating leadership, those 4 differences between somebody leading from anger and somebody leading from passion, right? The ability to learn from the other side, the ability to hat tip towards the other side, building a really positive, beautiful future and vision, right? Or saying how bad it's going to be if you lose, right? Thinking about leadership teams growing because it's about the cause versus leadership teams failing to grow because it's about one person's vendetta. Think about those things and realize the importance of this. Like the leaders you choose to follow and give your energy to and your time to, right, are going to very much so change the direction of your entire life and how you relate personally and professionally every day through it. So there's no greater stakes than being able to recognize this, and it can be a real challenge. And check yourself, right? Where are you leading from? Right? Look at how you're spending your time and energy. Is it going towards stopping the other side? Or is it going towards moving your cause forward in a positive way? Does your messaging to your team reflect this? How much time are you spending in your staff meetings talking about what other people are doing and why it's bad and how to stop them? Versus the importance of advancing what you're doing and the positive sequela on society and on your individual lives if you succeed. Where is your time and energy going? Think about that. Hit me up. All right, ptonice.com if you need anything. Let me know if you have any question about differentiating anger versus passion. There might be no greater ability that you can foster in your professional and personal lives. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for being here on Leadership Thursday. We'll see you next week. If I see you at 1 o'clock, my time, 3 o'clock Eastern for the Zoom live Gut Check Thursday, I would love that. Hit me up with a message. Take care, everybody. Good morning.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.